It's They Asked For It, the television magazine that investigates some of history's so-called tragedies to uncover just why the victims got their just desserts. Good evening. Our first story tonight concerns 1968's alleged massacre at My Lai. And we talk with that fine American who ended up taking a bum rap when he was only protecting his men and our freedom. Here's Lieutenant William Cowley.
Those pinko Vietnam historians want you to believe that my men killed innocent civilians. Believe me, I know. I was there. I know exactly what we were up against. Let me tell you something about Charlie. He's as tricky as he is shifty. They all look alike just to confuse us Americans. And the ones that look like they're 6 months old, they're the most dangerous of all. You see, it's one of Charlie's tricks. They take their crack troops, disguise them to look like babies, old men, pregnant women, anything to put you off your guard. And then, when you least expect it, blammo, another GI bites the dust. So anyway, I know what we're up against when I lead my men into My Lai. I look around me, I see all these people disguised as Vietnamese peasants. But I see through that, and I lead my men into blasting the living hell out of every one of those slopes to make this country a safer place for you to live in. Yeah, they asked for it.
The man's a real hero. Americans have always been shocked when they learn of the so-called senseless mass slayings. But are they really senseless? Couldn't there be good reasons behind these murders? Were the victims truly blameless? We sought the answers to these and other questions as applied to Charles Whitman in the 1966 shooting spree from the tower at the University of Texas.
Doctors have always said I was a victim of a grapefruit-sized brain tumor. What do they know? I couldn't get a job, couldn't get laid, couldn't get a date. People are always making fun of me. Those chumps asked for it.
We also spoke to some of the deserving recipients of Mr. Whitman's bullets.
Sure. I knew Charlie. He'd ask me out a lot of times. I remember a couple of times we even had definite plans. But something came up, so I stood him up. Of course, I had a good reason for it. Cuter guy asked me out. You know, I go out with a creep when you go out with a cute guy. So, sure, I knew Charlie. He wasn't a bad guy, but he just wasn't my type.
What do I remember about Charlie Whitman? Well, I guess my strongest memory is right after Charlie made the lacrosse team here at UT. We older players had a party for our new teammates, and Charlie got really, really drunk. Well, he was getting sloppy, and we didn't want him to mess up the house, so we took all his clothes off, shaved him naked, and threw him outside. And after he calmed down a little bit, we bundled him up, threw him in the trunk of the car, and went cruising for burgers. You know, we thought maybe he was hungry. Well, we must have driven an hour, but every place was closed. So we just took him back to the dorm. That Charlie was quite a character.
Well, I guess those folks in Texas sure asked for it. Our final story tonight involves an unsolved mystery, the recent Ann Arbor murders. We talked with Detective Roberts of the Ann Arbor Police Department about those murders.
Look, what do these women expect? Everyone we found has been undressed. You walk around naked in Ann Arbor on a Saturday night, you gotta figure you're gonna be attacked. And don't cry to me about how they were just looking for a good time, they weren't asking to get killed. I've been around, I know. I've seen these snuff movies. A lot of women like the rough stuff. Hey, even me and the missus, we occasionally get carried away, but you don't hear her complain about sporting a couple of black eyes or having stripes down her back. They definitely asked for it.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Join us next week when we bring you the untold story behind the Litamide babies. They asked for it.